Things are being thrown. There's no room for this in the sport. There's no room for the Davis brothers to be in the building tonight. The police escorted them out. You saw a stroller being moved.
His jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch.
Tensions flared backstage as Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach came face-to-face before their much-anticipated rematch. Lamont remained composed, tuning out Gervonta's words and distractions outside the ring. His focus stayed locked on the fight itself, trusting that his performance will speak louder than any talk, and he's confident he'll emerge victorious.
The outside critics, I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out and give it my all and perform, and most likely, 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I'll be victorious.
Lamont Roach has firmly rejected the idea that Gervonta Davis is the most powerful opponent he's ever faced. According to Roach, he's absorbed stronger punches in previous fights and doesn't find Davis's power intimidating. His calm approach reflects a mindset forged through experience and toughness, proving he won't be shaken by reputation alone.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard hit, motherfucker.
In their first bout, a brief lapse from Davis caused him to take a knee, instantly stirring controversy and shifting the public narrative. Roach's strong showing in that moment elevated his reputation, marking him as the first to genuinely challenge Davis. That moment continues to fuel the belief that Roach may take control in the rematch. His fans now view him as a serious threat.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same shit. When I fought Andre, that shit was burning my eyes, so I cut that shit off.
New footage of Davis in training reveals a transformed fighter more physically refined and mentally sharper. His enhanced strength, paired with a bold presence online, shows he's training not just harder, but smarter. Him anticipating a fierce and dominant return to form in the ring. Roy Jones Jr. praised Davis's dynamic fighting style, noting his ability to overwhelm rivals with a combination of strength and skill. While acknowledging that anything can happen in the ring, Jones expressed confidence that Davis's presence alone could tilt the fight in his favor. He believes Tank will once again assert dominance.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just to continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach, but we kind of haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers and amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. But then when the pro rounds take over, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet, or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in. You got a good back foot game like that, and you understand boxing like he understands it, he gonna make it rough for anybody. But you know, Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, "Oh, he gonna win." Oh, he gonna win.
Many believe Davis wasn't at his best during their first encounter, possibly distracted by personal matters or a flawed strategy. With pride and legacy on the line, Davis seems determined to show his true form. His training approach and recent statements make it clear this isn't just about revenge. It's about proving he still belongs at the very top.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Roach's goal in the rematch isn't just to win, it's to score a knockout. His relentless training reflects his desire to send a strong message. Clear and decisive victory over Davis could change everything for Roach, pushing him into boxing's elite and building a legacy based on both talent and relentless determination.
That you sent him to retirement earlier?
My initial plan is to win, but every time I fight, I'm trying to knock somebody out. So, if that happens in the midst of it, that'd be a blessing. That'd be definitely something that I work for, because I work my ass off. But if he on his way out, well, why not kick his ass out? It does in a sense, but yeah, it do for sure. I ain't gonna lie. I like to prove people wrong, and I damn sure like to prove myself right. So it definitely gives me an incentive. And like I said before, I've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
The Hector fight, they had me duck. Right now, they really got me. They really got me.
Roach has openly voiced his confidence in the work he's put in, claiming he has the full skill set required for victory. His words don't come across as arrogance, but rather as the product of effort and commitment. He believes he's fully prepared to handle whatever Gervonta Davis brings to the ring.
Beat 30 people, knocked out, 28 of them, right? What makes you different?
He probably can't answer that question. he probably can't answer that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. That's evidently a power puncher. I got too much.
Greg Hackett highlighted that both fighters are facing equally high stakes. Sees no clear favorite, emphasizing that razor-sharp execution will decide the outcome, specifically for Davis. Hackett warned that every moment must be met with focus and discipline. There's simply no margin for mistakes.
Rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge, just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they're very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking a knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused Tank Davis. Because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night, and you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for, and he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Who you picking to win?
Mikey Garcia shared a measured view, acknowledging that Davis has the talent to adapt and learn from experience. But he also emphasized that without mental clarity, even the sharpest tactics can fail. Garcia's message was clear. If Davis isn't fully locked in mentally, he may not belong in the ring at all.
Hopefully, I'd like to see it.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, I'm surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, and maybe they get a third fight, after that. Who knows?
Maybe it turns if Mark gets back,
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think
the edge.
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. I mean, if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
But it seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it, fuck, let him do it. I don't know. Dude,